There are various methods you can use for adding fractions, but because we're moving on to the addition and subtraction of algebraic fractions, this is the method I would like you to use. So what you do is you draw a nice big vinculum, and then you multiply the two denominators together. So 5 multiplied by 7 is 35. We then cross multiply the top numerator here on the left with the bottom right denominator. So we're cross multiplying this way first. 2 multiplied by 7 is 14. Obviously we're adding. And then we cross multiply this way. So 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. And then all we need to do is just to add these two values in the numerator. So 14 plus 15 is 29, and that's over 35. Let's have a look at this second example here. So same as before, we draw a nice big vinculum. We multiply the new denominators together, so 7 5s are 35. Cross multiply from top left to bottom right, so 4 5s are 20, and we're adding. And then 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. And then finally, just add these numerator values together. 20 plus 14, that is 34 over 35. We now move on to the subtraction of fractions, and we follow the same pattern as before. So we draw a nice big vinculum. We multiply the denominators together. So 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. And then we cross multiply in this direction first. So 4 3s are 12. We are subtracting. 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. And hopefully you can see that's why we multiply in this direction first. It does matter when we come to subtraction. If I'd started going this way first, I would have had 5 subtract 12, and that would have been incorrect. So 12 subtract the 5 is 7, and it's 7 over 15. For this second example, same process. Draw the vinculum. 6 multiplied by 5 is 30. Cross multiplying in this direction first. 5 5s are 25. And we are subtracting 6 multiplied by the 2 is 12. And 25 subtract the 12 is 13. So 13 over 30. So now we're going to apply what we've learnt with the addition and subtraction of fractions to these algebraic fractions. So we're going to follow exactly the same process. So equals, we draw a nice big vinculum, and we're going to multiply these two terms together, these two denominators. So it's going to be x multiplied by x plus 1. We're then going to cross multiply this way first. So 4. And that's multiplied by the x plus 1. Obviously, we're adding these fractions together. And then we've got the 2 multiplied by the x. So that's just 2x. The next step is to expand brackets in the numerator. We don't actually have to expand brackets in the denominator. So we're going to do 4 multiplied by the x. That's 4x. And then we've got 4 multiplied by the 1. So plus 4. And then we're adding on this 2x here. And that is all over x multiplied by x plus 1. And now we can gather like terms. We've got the 4x here and this 2x. So we get 6x plus the 4. That's all over x and x plus 1. So we've finished there. We don't need to do anything else to this fraction. Let's have a look at this second one. So same process, draw the vinculum. We're multiplying the denominators together. So x plus 1, and in brackets x plus 2. We're then cross multiplying in this direction first. So 3 bracket x plus 2. And then we're adding on this way next to cross multiplying here. So 4 and then x plus 1. Now, the next thing we need to do then is to expand brackets in the numerator. Remember, we do not have to expand brackets in the denominator. So 3 multiplied by the x will give me 3x. And we've got the plus 3 multiplied by the 2 is 6. And we've got this plus here. And then 4 multiplied by x, 4x. And we've got 4 multiplied by the 1, so it's plus 4. And that is all over x plus 1 in brackets, x plus 2. And then just to finish off, all we need to do is to gather like terms here. So we've got the 3x and the 4x, which is 7x. The 6 and the 4 is 10, so plus 10. Again, that's over x plus 1 and x plus 2. We now move on to the subtraction of algebraic fractions, and this is where you need to be particularly careful. And let me show you what I mean here. So as before, we draw a nice big vinculum. We multiply the denominators together, so x plus 1 and x minus 2. We're cross multiplying in this direction first, so 5, and then the x minus 2. Obviously, we're subtracting these terms, and then we've got the 3 multiplied by the x plus 1. So 3 bracket x plus 1. Okay, we'll go ahead and expand brackets here. So 5 multiplied by the x is 5x. 5 multiplied by this negative 2 here, that's going to be minus 10. We've got the negative 3 multiplied by the x, so we've got minus 3x. And the negative 3 multiplied by the 1, so we've got a minus and a plus, making a minus. So that's going to be minus 3. And that is all over x plus 1 and x minus 2. The next step is to gather like terms. So we've got the 5x and we're subtracting 3x, which is 2x, minus 10 minus another 3, so minus 13. And that is all over x plus 1 and x minus 2. Okay, let's have a look at this example here. So as before, we draw the vinculum. We've got x minus 1 multiplied by the 2x plus 1. And again, we don't need to expand these brackets here. We're going to cross multiply in this direction here. So we've got the x multiplied by the 2x plus 1. Obviously, we're subtracting. And then we've got the 4 multiplied by the x minus 1. So 4 and x minus 1. We can go ahead and expand brackets here. So x multiplied by the 2x would be 2x squared. We've got the x multiplied by 1, so that's just plus x. We've then got this minus 4 times x, so minus 4x. Now we've got this negative here and this negative sign here, and two negatives make a positive, so we've got plus 4. And that's all over x minus 1 and 2x plus 1. And the last thing to do is to gather like terms. Well, we've got an x squared term here, but there are no more x squared terms, so it's just going to be 2x squared. We've got this plus x minus 4x, so we're going to subtract 3x, and then we've got the plus 4. That's all over x minus 1 and 2x plus 1. On to the last question, and it looks pretty horrible. Lots of x's and x squareds, but if we follow the procedure as before, it should be fairly straightforward. So draw the equals, and then we draw in a nice big vinculum. We're going to multiply the two denominators together. So we've got x squared plus 2, and that's multiplied by x squared plus 4x. The next step is to cross multiply in this direction first. So we've got the x plus 5. And that's multiplied by this term here, which is x squared plus 4x. Obviously, we're subtracting, and we're going to cross multiply in this direction. So we've got x plus 3 And then we've got x squared plus 2. So that's the first step done. And the next step is to start to expand brackets. So we've got double brackets here, and hopefully you remember Mr. Smiley Face. Now what I'll do, I'll just write the brackets over here. So we've got x plus 5, and then we've got x squared plus 4x. Now when we're doing Mr. Smiley Face, if you remember, what we do is we take this term and multiply it by this term. So what we're going to get there is x cubed. We can take this term and multiply it by this term. So that's going to be plus 5x squared. We've got this term multiplied by this term, which will be plus 4x squared. And then we take this term and multiply it by that term. So that's going to be plus 20x. Okay, well, let's take all this and we'll write it over here. So we've got x cubed plus 5x squared plus the 4x squared. In fact, let's just tidy that up a little bit. Let's just gather those like terms together just to simplify things a bit. So the 5x squared and the 4x squared are going to be plus 9x squared. And then we've got the plus 20x. And we're subtracting. And again, we've got two lots of brackets here to expand. So let's do that again. So we've got x plus 3. And we're multiplying that by x squared plus 2. Okay, so we take this term multiplied by that one. So x multiplied by x squared is x cubed. We've got this one multiplied by this one. So 3 multiplied by x squared. So plus 3x squared. We've got this one multiplied by this one. So plus 2x. And finally, we've got the 3 multiplied by the 2. So that's plus 6. Now we've got this negative here. So what we need to be careful, we just don't grab all of these and write them in here. We do need to put them in brackets because each one of these terms is going to be multiplied by this negative here. So let me just pop these in. So we've got x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2x plus 6. Let me close that bracket off. Now we've got a really big vinculum here. Let's draw a nice straight vinculum. And then we've got the x squared plus 2. And that's multiplied by x squared plus 4x. Okay, so as before, we've still got the x cubed. We've got 9x squared. We've got the plus 20x. And now we can deal with this negative with each of these terms here. So we're going to get negative x squared, or x cubed rather, so minus x cubed. We've got the negative here and the positive here, so we'll get another negative. It's going to be 3x squared. We've got the negative and another positive, so another negative. It's going to be 2x. And finally, we've got the negative and the positive here, so another negative and 6. As before, try and draw a nice straight vinculum here. And then we've got x squared plus 2. And then finally, x squared plus 4x. Now we can start to gather like terms. So if you notice, I've got this x cubed here, and I'm subtracting x cubed. So this x cubed will cancel with this one. Okay, let's see what we've got in terms of the x squared. So I've got a 9x squared minus 3x squared. Let me cross these off. So 9x squared minus 3x squared, which is going to be 6x squared. I've got the 20x subtract the 2x, so plus 18x. And then the last thing that I've got left is just this minus 6. And that is all over x squared plus 2 and x squared plus 4x. If you found this video useful, then remember to give me a quick thumbs up. And if you would like to be notified when I release new videos, then hit that subscribe button and remember to click on the little notification bell.